The Last Supper, a meal that changed history. Imagine sitting down to a meal that you know will be your last. The final meal shared with your closest friends, full of profound significance and heartbreaking farewell. Welcome to the Last Supper, an event that not only shaped the course of history but also gave rise to one of the most enduring rituals in the Christian faith. Stay with us as we uncover the mysteries, the significance, and the details of what was on the table at Jesus' Last Supper. The Last Supper, as described in the New Testament, is the final meal that Jesus shared with his 12 apostles in Jerusalem before his crucifixion. This event, celebrated by Christians around the world as the institution of the Eucharist or Holy Communion, is recounted in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But what exactly happened during this momentous occasion? On the night before his arrest, Jesus gathered his disciples in an upper room to celebrate Passover. This Jewish festival commemorates the Israelites' liberation from Egyptian slavery. Yet this particular Passover meal would take on a profound new meaning. The Last Supper is significant for several reasons. Firstly, it marks the establishment of the Eucharist. During the meal, Jesus took bread, blessed it, broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." He then took a cup of wine and said, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you." This act symbolized Jesus' impending sacrifice and established a new covenant between God and humanity. Christians believe that through this ritual, they participate in the body and blood of Christ, a practice that continues in Christian liturgies today. Secondly, the Last Supper also displayed Jesus' humility and service. According to the Gospel of John, Jesus washed his disciples' feet, demonstrating that true leadership is found in service to others. So what was actually on the table at the Last Supper? While the Gospels do not provide a detailed menu, we can infer from historical and cultural contexts. As a Passover meal, it likely included unleavened bread, symbolizing the haste of the Israelites' departure from Egypt, and wine, which is central to the Passover ritual. Other elements might have included lamb, bitter herbs, and a dish known as caroset, a sweet paste made of fruits and nuts, symbolizing the mortar used by the Israelites in their forced labor. These foods held deep symbolic meanings related to the Exodus story, which Jesus reinterpreted in light of his impending death and resurrection. The Last Supper was far more than a final meal. It was a moment laden with symbolism, prophecy, and the inauguration of a practice that millions still observe today. Through bread and wine, humility and service, Jesus left a legacy that has endured for millennia. Curious about why Texas was the last state to free its enslaved people? Check out this video to learn the fascinating history behind Juneteenth and the unique circumstances that delayed emancipation in the Lone Star State.